Imagine a car so ahead of its time that it broke records before it even reached owners. A car that promised a V12, all-wheel drive, and Formula One engineering, wrapped in a body that looked like it came straight from the future. A car that could outrun the Ferraris and Lamborghini legends of its era, yet somehow ended up forgotten, misunderstood, and overshadowed by the very industry it helped define. This is the story of the Jaguar XJ220, a hypercar that didn't just push boundaries, it redrew the blueprint for speed. And even though people rarely mention it today, its influence is baked into nearly every modern hypercar we celebrate. So, why did a car that once held the title of fastest production car in the world fade into the shadows? And how did it secretly shape the future of automotive engineering? Let's dive deep. The XJ220 didn't come from boardroom meetings, marketing teams, or corporate pressure. It started with a small underground group of Jaguar engineers known internally as the Saturday Club. They met secretly after hours, using free workshop space and leftover parts to build something outrageous, the ultimate Jaguar. Their vision was insane for the late 1980s, a massive V12 engine, all-wheel drive, and active aerodynamics, all wrapped in a sleek aluminum body meant to hit 220 miles per hour. That number, 220, is where the name XJ220 came from. This wasn't just a pet project, it was a rebellion, and the rebellion caught fire. When Jaguar presented the concept at the 1988 British Motor Show, the crowd went silent. People stared in disbelief. The automotive press lost their minds. And overnight, the XJ220 became a sensation. Jaguar hadn't just built a supercar, they had built the future. After the concept car exploded in popularity, Jaguar decided to build it for real. But reality is always harsher than fantasy. The V12 engine was too heavy, too hot, and too unreliable for mass production. The all-wheel drive system was overly complicated and impossible to refine in time. So Jaguar pivoted. They swapped the V12 for a much smaller 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 developed from their racing program. They dropped AWD for rear-wheel drive. To the public, especially those who paid deposits expecting a V12 monster, this felt like betrayal. The V6 became the XJ220's biggest curse and its biggest blessing, because the truth is that V6 was a weapon. Light, compact, brutally responsive, and bred from Group B and IMSA racing technology. It produced around 542 horsepower, making the XJ220 one of the most advanced turbocharged cars of the early 1990s. But people didn't want facts. They wanted the V12 they were promised. The XJ220's reputation was already cracked before the car ever reached the road. Despite the controversy, the XJ220 delivered performance numbers that were simply outrageous for its era. It hit 60 miles per hour in about 3.6 seconds. It ran the quarter mile in 11.8. And in 1993, on the Nardo test track, it hit 217 miles per hour, making it the fastest production car in the world. The only reason it didn't hit the advertised 220 miles per hour was because safety teams replaced the original tires with a slightly slower compound, but even at 217 miles per hour, it beat out everything: Ferrari's F40, Lamborghini's Diablo, and even the Porsche 959. But here's the twist: the world didn't care. The early 90s recession hit. Buyers backed out. Lawsuits happened. People felt cheated by the engine change. And just like that, the fastest car in the world became the car nobody wanted to talk about. What made the XJ220 so special wasn't just its speed, it was its engineering vision. It had a full aluminum honeycomb chassis. It used active suspension technology that many modern hypercars still rely on today. Its aerodynamics were so advanced, they still hold up. The car produces real downforce without adding ugly wings or dive planes. Even the cabin, criticized for being cramped, was designed around aerodynamic priorities and low-drag principles. Jaguar didn't build a flashy toy. They built a scientific instrument designed for one purpose: speed. Its shape, its underbody, its weight distribution, everything was optimized. And modern brands like McLaren, Koenigsegg, and Pagani still follow similar philosophies. The XJ220 wasn't behind its time. It was too far ahead. Most people don't know that the XJ220 also had a racing version, the XJ220C, and this wasn't some half-hearted track experiment. It was a fully engineered competition weapon built by Tom Walkinshaw Racing, the same group behind Jaguar's legendary Le Mans successes in the late 80s. The XJ220C carried a stripped interior, lighter body panels, and even more aggressive aero, turning an already extreme road car into a precision machine for endurance battle. And the moment it hit the track, it proved its worth immediately by winning its class at the 1993 24 Hours of Le Mans. But the victory didn't last. After the race, a protest was filed claiming the car's catalytic converters had been removed, something the rules didn't even clearly require for that class. Still, the officials overturned the result, stripping Jaguar of a win they had rightfully earned through pure engineering and relentless performance. It was another blow to the car's fragile legacy. Even when the XJ220 won, someone found a way to make it lose, and that moment cemented its reputation as the hypercar that could do everything except catch a break. There are three major reasons the XJ220 became forgotten, and none of them had anything to do with its performance. First, the V12 controversy ruined its public image. Buyers expected a naturally aspirated, exotic 12-cylinder masterpiece, and when Jaguar switched to a twin-turbo V6, the world dismissed it as a downgrade, even though the V6 was faster, lighter, and more advanced. Second, the global economic crash arrived right as the car launched. Overnight, people who had deposits suddenly couldn't justify paying supercar money or simply walked away entirely. Jaguar went from a waiting list of eager customers to a stack of cancellations. And third, it landed in an era about to be dominated by the McLaren F1, a car that became such an icon that everything else was pushed into its shadow, no matter how good. The XJ220 became the hypercar world's quiet genius, respected by engineers who understood it, dismissed by buyers who misunderstood it, and ignored by history simply because it didn't fit the narrative of its time. But today, things have changed. Collectors are waking up, prices are rising, and as the world looks back with clearer eyes, people finally realize what the XJ220 truly was. Not a failure, but a misunderstood masterpiece years ahead of its competitors. Almost every modern hypercar takes DNA from the XJ220, more than most people will ever know. Its aluminum chassis development set the groundwork for lightweight, rigid construction used by McLaren and Bugatti. Its twin-turbo V6 demonstrated the performance potential of smaller displacement engines long before the industry shifted toward efficiency and forced induction. Its aerodynamics, refined in wind tunnels with science-first precision, influenced an entire generation of designers who realized that top speed is earned through airflow, not brute force. Even its low-drag philosophy is visible today in the Koenigsegg Jesko's slippery profile, and the Bugatti Veyron's airflow-focused engineering, and the XJ220's lightweight engineering principles, choosing agility over unnecessary bulk, echo through the McLaren F1, the Porsche Carrera GT, and even today's electric hypercars that fight drag rather than just adding power. The XJ220 walked so the McLaren F1 could run, and it ran so the Bugatti Veyron could fly. And the technology pioneered by this overlooked machine still echoes in the Koenigsegg Jesko and Rimac Nevera, proving that the future of speed was shaped by a car the world tried to forget. The Jaguar XJ220 is no longer the car people forgot. It is slowly becoming the car enthusiasts regret forgetting. Its story is a reminder that greatness is not always recognized immediately. Sometimes, the world needs time to understand what it once overlooked. The XJ220 didn't just aim for 220 miles per hour. It aimed for the future. And whether people acknowledged it or not, it hit that target. So the next time someone brings up the hypercars of the 90s, the F40, the Diablo, the Porsche 959, remember the machine that challenged all of them, beat most of them, and influenced nearly all that came after. The Jaguar XJ220 was never just a car. It was a warning shot from the future.